Hello everyone, this is Eva Nordic-Smith at YogaUOnline, and I'm very happy to be here today with Jill Miller, founder of TuneUp and author of The Role Model. Very interesting, successful, and brilliant book.
Thank you.
As everything you do.
Thank you.
And Jill, you are so busy now. You have the Yoga Tune-Up program, you train yoga teachers, you conduct workshops all over the country, and you also, I believe, teach sports teams now with your Yoga Tune-Up method.
Yes.
Now, and we're here at the 2015 Fascia Research Congress, which is definitely very interesting, but also a very nerdy thing.
Yeah, it hurts your brain, doesn't it? It's very painful on your brain.
So you're such a busy girl. What brings you here?
Well, I came to the Fascia Research Congress this time because I went to Vancouver in 2012 and actually presented a poster presentation on a case study of a student of mine who had a phenomenal change in his entire body, mind, social turnover from using my methods. He was on 100 micrograms of fentanyl, which is one of the most intense prescribed narcotics that you can take. And ultimately, over the course of a year and a half, when he decided he wanted to go off of fentanyl, got completely off of that medication using Yoga Tune-Up methods. And that wasn't the only drug that he was able to get off of using the approach, but he has a chronic perineuropathy called Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, or hereditary sensory motor neuropathy. And the number of changes in his body, mind, and life with the methods were so astonishing that I put up a proposal, sent it to the Fascia Research Congress, I'm just going to send in this case study, but they accepted the proposal, so I presented the poster, and met so many amazing people. This is this is not a yoga conference for sure. We're sitting around, we're listening to a lot of lectures, but the science that the researchers and clinicians are presenting is directly applicable to those of us in movement education and in the yoga therapy field. And of course, my methodology, we use self-massage tools. We use these pliable, grippy balls called Yoga Tune-Up balls, or role model balls, a variety of different sizes. And so I want to know better why I have such success using these self-massage tools. And I know that the answers are in the research, or at least I'm hoping the answers are in the research, and so that's one of the reasons why I continue to follow the fascia researchers and come to the Congress so that I can help to validate and substantiate the work that I'm teaching in the classroom, because I'm getting results all the time. I want to know why.
Yeah, and of course we're used to thinking about massage, whether it's manual or whether you do it with yourself with using something like your Yoga Tune-Up balls. We're used to thinking it in terms of myofascial release. So some of the things that you've learned at this Congress, has that deepened your understanding of what happens with these self-care tools? I mean, it seems like a simple enough thing, you roll the ball or you massage your shoulder, but some pretty profound things happen in the body. Do you understand that better enough, having learned more about the fascial structures?
If I get 3 takeaways, if I get 3 pieces of data over the course of 3 days, then I'm happy.
Right.
There's a lot of new information, there's a lot of old information, and there's, let's be honest, a lot of really confusing and conflicting information.
Right.
So it's like, part of it's like, can we definitively say anything right now? Yeah, there's some stuff that we think we can definitively say about how a stress transfer medium, like a massage tool, can influence not only your myofascia, but I would want to include your neuromyofascia. So we know that touch does help with all of the soft tissues, but you're also touching your brain when you're touching, right? So the tool is also touching your nerve endings and influencing your states of upregulation or downregulation, your ability to map yourself, your pain sensing. So to me, the real interest is the sort of the integrated understanding of what the therapy ball is doing. It's not just touching your soft tissue, your fascias. It's not just trying to get at a muscle, but it's trying to, let's say for lack of word, it's trying to touch your soul, I suppose, like all integrated aspects of your being.
Yeah. It affects the nervous system by virtue of the sensations, and I guess we can't say anything about how it affects like the endocrine system or the immune system, but you would imagine because the body is such a wholeness that everything is affected.
Yeah, interestingly, I haven't heard this year anything about the immune system directly. 3 years ago, Lisa Hodge presented a study on, she's a big lymph person, and so she presented a study on abdominal massage in rats. And what her study basically proved was that the abdominal massage is a particular method of applying abdominal massage that has a pumping effect to me, which is very like the application of Uddiyana Bandha, the diaphragm vacuum, or I use a hollow pliable ball called Gorgeous Ball, and we do rolling techniques on the abdomen to influence movement of lymph, abdominal lymph into the thoracic ducts. And so what she proved with the rats was that there was a reduction in pneumonias, reduction in formation of lung tumors, and that is just an incredible piece of data. And I know for myself, when I practice abdominal massage, and I do it frequently, not daily all the time, but I do it frequently, especially when I'm on the road, I feel that it prevents me from getting sick. And I actually have empirical evidence of this because just 3 weeks ago, I was teaching my abdominal course called the Core Immersion at Kripalu, and brought my daughter, my 18-month-old daughter, with me, and she wasn't sleeping at night, and she got a cold, and she was teething. And she was sleeping on top of me in order to sleep. So I have a sick child, and I felt myself, and so I'm not sleeping, my daughter's sick, I felt myself start to get sick one day, but I didn't end up succumbing to the sickness where she totally succumbed, and I feel that it's directly related to the fact that I do the gut rolling, and now I have a little bit of, obviously Lisa's studies are done on rats, my study was done on myself, but I also have many, many, many other students who've had the same thing, where their whole family got sick, they didn't get sick, they were using the Gorgeous Ball. So that's a nice piece of, fascial immune affect that maybe I'll do a study on that someday, but in the meantime, I'll just collect these case studies of people who are not getting sick because they're doing abdominal massage. And that's in my book. I talk about that.
Extremely interesting. Now, one of the things, as you begin to understand fascia in relation to the musculoskeletal system, we usually think, when we think about taking care of ourselves and keeping our muscles healthy and staying fit, we think in terms of staying strong, staying flexible, possibly a little bit of balance work. But when you start moving into the world of the fascia, it's new concepts that become important. So one of the things I find extremely fascinating is this concept of retaining the ability to glide or slide, because the muscles in this new model are pockets, there are kind of structures within these fascial pockets. And the ability to slide and glide is essential for fascial health, for musculoskeletal health. And of course, now the big bad guy is adhesions. Do you want to talk about adhesions, the understanding of adhesions, and what your own experience has been with how that relates to this self-massage
that we can do to help with that? So adhesions basically are an overgrowth or an inappropriate amount of repairing fascia. So one of the properties of fascia is that it's your repair system. And so when there's an injury to tissue, what happens is in order for healing to occur, fascias will, fibroblasts, which are the cells of fascia, will migrate to that area, and they'll spit out a lot of collagen in order to stabilize that tissue.
Yeah.
So that that basically is an internal scab. And what happens there is it's also a bridge now for new blood vessels, so that blood vessels can get into, and across to the site of injury or what have you. Also, nerve endings will grow into that area. But the problem is, once the healing has occurred, because, oh, great, that we've formed a bridge or a scab inside my body in order to repair and to hasten healing, but then that extra collection of collagen often just remains. And a collection of fluids will happen there, in an appropriate amount of water, and you'll start to feel that will actually start to irritate the nerves in that area.
And it's very disorganized, right?
It's disorganized. I mean, literally, thank goodness I have a scab on the inside.
Right.
But once that healing takes place, or once enough healing takes place, you want to be able to remobilize the area in order to regain your appropriate amount of slide and glide. Now, the whole notion of slide and glide is, well, what's the appropriate amount? Like, how much give should certain tissues have in relation to one another? Certain areas of your body are naturally more restricted. They're just naturally more restricted. Others areas are looser and fluffier and have more range of motion internally.
Right.
So I think studies of the body, studies of your body within movement, studies of your body with different types of load, be it body weight like yoga training, or load using elastics, or load using metal, all of this will help and load with massage tool application or hands-on application will give you more and more feedback about what a healthy internal range of motion. I'm not even talking about joint range of motion. I'm talking about your tissues' normal range of motion per area of your body. It's really complicated and interesting, and I'm certainly not done learning that.